Easy to learn, hard to master.
Hello, fellow miners. Welcome to the first video in my series on how to be more successful at Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, my favorite roguelite survivor game. This series will cover a number of topics that will help you be more successful in your dives. It is intended for players who range from being relatively new, with little hours played, to more experienced players with lots of hours played. You should at least be familiar with the basic mechanics and gameplay prior to watching this video. For this video, I will cover 2 key things you can do to help you have smoother dives. The target audience are newer players, but experienced players may learn something too. The content is intended to be surface level or just below so as to not overwhelm you. My intent is to make it easy for you to internalize the knowledge and properly implement the strategies. If you want to learn more, I suggest you join the DRGS Discord and ask questions, or drop a sub, as I will release more videos like this one in the future.
Gonna get straight A's and kicking bug ass.
There are 2 key things you can do to make your dives smoother. The first thing is to work on your meta upgrades and masteries. The second is to rush a weapon to level 18, otherwise known as the carry weapon.
I'm the master class master.
Meta upgrades refers to the upgrade screen from the main menu. They are generally referred to as meta. Upgrading these stats provide permanent stat boosts for all dive modes, excluding vanilla. These upgrades cost credits, minerals, and morkite cores, with the amount required varying per stat and dependent on the current stat level. Credits are awarded for completing or failing to complete dives, and minerals are gained by mining them in dives. Morkite cores are found in the mastery and anomaly dives. Within the upgrade screen, you have the option to sell or buy minerals. I would refrain from selling minerals until you start maxing out the various required stats, and I would refrain from buying minerals unless you have an excess of credits. If you are fairly early in your progression, it takes a while before you get to either point though. You also don't need to farm minerals or morkite cores specifically, just make it a point to mine them when you encounter them. You will amass large quantities of credits and materials as you play through the milestones, masteries, and other dive types. As to what order you should upgrade the stats in, it's up to you. There is no right or wrong answer. I originally upgraded them evenly, but you may like one stat more and dedicate more credits and materials to that stat. However, if I was starting over, I would prioritize life regen, mining speed, pickup radius, armor, and movement speed, generally in that order. These are solid quality of life stats that make the dive smoother. Prioritize does not mean ignore the other stats though. It's good to have a few levels in all the other stats, especially the artifact reroll stat, as you work through them. Masteries are found on the play or mission type selection screen. Completing masteries provide permanent stat boosts, just like your meta, but to the specific weapon, class mod, or biome. I recommend that you complete masteries in the order of biome, class mod, and then weapon masteries. You might find it easier to complete them in 2 waves. First at hazard 2 or 3, then again at hazard 4 or 5. When working through the weapon masteries, focus on the class mod starter weapons and your own personal favorite weapons. Weapon masteries is the more daunting challenge as there are 42 total weapons to master, many of which you may not care for. Once you have your biome and class mod masteries at hazard 4 or 5, then consider fully working through the weapon masteries. The best way to approach your meta and masteries is to play the hazard level which you can comfortably complete and not die. Let me repeat that. Play the hazard level which you can comfortably complete and not die. It takes a lot of hours to fully upgrade your meta and complete all your masteries. Completing dives, even at lower hazard levels, is better than jumping into higher hazards and being more likely to die. Additionally, for meta upgrades, you get to keep minerals and morkite cores, whether you complete the dive or not, but you will get bonus credits for completing the dives. Note that quitting a dive does not grant minerals, morkite cores, or credits, so you are better off dying instead of quitting if you need to quit the dive for some reason. For Masteries, you only get the stat bonus if you complete the dive. Therefore, you should really only be playing the hazard level which you are confident you will complete. Otherwise, it is likely just wasted time. It's nice to have your Masteries all at Hazard 5, but the sweet spot is Hazard 2 or 3 in terms of return on investment for newer players, since the incremental gains are smaller as you go up in hazard level. As you increase your meta and your Masteries, the dives will start to feel smoother, especially at the start of the dive, as you are starting off stronger stat-wise. In these images, you can see the difference in stats that a vanilla Classic Scout starts with versus a fully max Classic Scout. The difference is massive, both on paper and in gameplay. One final important thing to note is that your meta and mastery bonuses are worth more than regular upgrades, as they are on a separate stat bucket multiplier. This applies for stats that are percentage based, excluding crit chance and damage, which are flat stats. This can be seen in the weapon and spec screen, where meta and masteries are combined in the meta bucket, which is the check mark with the circle. Stat buckets and stat calculations are a more advanced topic and will be covered in a future video.
Gonna get a PhD in guns!
The second thing you can do to make your dive smoother is to rush a weapon to level 18. This is what I call the carry weapon. A carry weapon is just a weapon that carries your dive by doing most of the damage. You can have one or more carry weapons in a dive. For dives with 5 or less stages, this is usually a single weapon. For dives with 10 stages, the Biomasteries, this is usually multiple weapons, if not all of your weapons. The reason we rush the weapon to level 18 is that at level 18, you get an unstable overclock, which is usually extremely powerful. So the sooner the carry weapon comes online at level 18, the less likely you will be overrun in the early stages. Therefore, you want to prioritize weapon upgrades for your carry weapon over other weapons or other upgrades. You should reroll at times depending on the upgrades offered. This does not mean ignore other upgrades, just use your best judgment. You generally should be able to get your first carry weapon to level 18 by the end of stage 1 or by early stage 2. As to what weapons are good carry weapons, here are 3 good carry weapons for each class that is available to each class mod for that class. Most of the class mod starter weapons can be carry weapons, but some, like for Weapons Specialist or Juggernaut Gunner, are not as user-friendly as the listed weapons here. If you are going to designate a carry weapon that is not your starter weapon, you should select it at level 5, rerolling if necessary. Please note, the shotgun or Warthog for Engineer is best used with the plasma overclock. Otherwise, it is not as user-friendly since you have to aim it. With the plasma overclock and the Akimbo unstable overclock, it is one of the best weapons in the game. To put this in practice, I will now run the first floor of a dive to show how to rush a weapon to level 18 by the end of stage 1. I will be using Tinker Engineer, which starts with a boosted level 3 weapon. Let's go.
Who tinkers?
This is it. Either the dreadnought goes or we send in another dwarf. You'll be on your own in there. Make it count.
I'll go ahead and reroll here. I really want a Warthog upgrade to start the game off. Let's grab the fire rate.
Hell yeah!
Grab the paint job.
Gonna paint my nails to match it!
And grab the plasma overclock.
Overclock is my favorite type of clock!
If this was a rare movement speed, I'd probably take it, but I'll go ahead and reroll here one time. And we'll take the damage.
It's for me!
Take the lock 1 here.
Smart dwarf. Oh, loot bug eliminated!
Early XP gain is very valuable, so I'll take that here.
That's the one!
Can't drop supplies for you yet. Prep the landing zone for
I
impact.
killed the loot bug, and I'm not so proud about it. I feel quite alive.
We'll take the piercing here.
I'm raring to try this out.
Prepare to fight for your life. The big swarm is approaching.
Much better.
I've rerolled quite a bit, and I am planning on the lock one being a secondary care weapon. So I'm going to hold off re-rolling for now, and I'll take the fire rate here.
Just what I needed.
Prepare for impact.
Wow, what a shot!
I'll go ahead and take the pay-to-win console here.
I'm gonna do something epic with this.
We'll take the fire rate,
It's for me.
take the reload speed.
Cowabunga! Oh. I feel quite alive.
I could re-roll this, but a rare fire rate upgrade, which affects both the Warthog and the lock one, is valuable. So I'll take that.
Yoink! Took out a loot bug. I killed the loot bug, and I'm not so
Objective
proud.
completed.
We'll take the fire rate here.
I want it.
We'll grab the gas rerouting.
Overclock fest, it's time to kill. One down.
Let's go ahead and re-roll here. If this was a rare, I'd keep the mining speed, but let's re-roll one time. Take the damage.
In. Bring it, feckers!
We'll take the fire rate here.
Makes my whole life better. Boom, baby!
I'll take the stubby here.
Rock 'em and shock 'em. Let's go, there's some pie!
Body shots is not bad, but I'll go ahead and re-roll here one time. I'll actually take the paint job on the stubby. I want to get it at least to level 6, if not level 12, for the sidearm overclock.
Looks beautiful, like me.
We'll take the piercing.
It's for me.
If this was a rare armor, I'd probably skip it and re-roll, but I'll take the epic armor here. It's good value.
Yes, please. Got it right between the eyes.
I could re-roll, but the magnet's up there, and I'm going to go for that in a minute. I'll take the stubby reload here just to get to level 6.
I just became a better dwarf.
We'll take sidearm.
Overclock fest, it's time to kill.
I do want to try and just get the Warthog up to level 18. I should be able to do it. Normally, I would consider the paint job here, but we're just going to go to the Warthog to level 18.
Give it to me.
We'll go for the Warthog here again.
That's what I needed.
Guess what's on the menu?
Here I'll
More
skip
bugs. And
the reload for the Warthog, and I'm actually going to grab the reload for the Lock 1.
This is gonna help me be a perfect dwarf.
Get another good value here in the legendary armor. I'll go ahead and take that.
This one suits me best.
Now, I'll skip the fire rate on all projectile weapons for the damage on the Warthog just to get it to 18.
Tough choice. Overclock time, baby.
And with that, the Warthog is level 18 with the Plasma Overclock and Akimbo Unstable Overclock. This is one of the strongest weapons in the game. In this example, I only rerolled 4 times, which is pretty good. Had this not been Tinkerer Engineer, whose weapons start at level 3, as well as not hitting the Epic Paint Job upgrade, I probably entered the shop with my carry weapon somewhere between level 13 and 15. I would then exit the shop with the weapon at level 18 or close to it. Regardless, you don't have to rush your carry weapon this quickly. The goal is to have the carry weapon online by the end of stage 1 or early in stage 2. To summarize this video, work on your meta and masteries. Maxing them is not required to play high hazard levels, but they really help. Also, meta upgrades and masteries are worth more than regular upgrades due to them being on a separate multiplier for percentage-based stats, excluding crit chance and damage. Play the hazard level you can complete comfortably and not die. Dying means less credits and not receiving the mastery bonus if you're running masteries. Pick a carry weapon and rush it to level 18. This will be your primary source of damage for the dive. Getting the carry weapon to level 18 reduces your chances of being overrun in the early stages. When rushing your carry weapon, reroll, but use your best judgment. You don't want to spend all your gold trying to get upgrades for the weapon, but you want it to be leveled high enough such that you get to level 18 by the end of stage 1 or early stage 2. This concludes the first video in my series on how to be more successful at Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have questions or feedback, drop a comment below, or feel free to ping me on the DRGS Discord. I'm the hardcore nutjob guy. Thank you. Rock and stone.
Well done. Objective completed. Drop pod coming in. Ass in gear. Pod will leave without you.